Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are planting 3 different varieties of roses. I've got them all back here in the gator, and I'm thankful there's at least a little color to show you for each one of these varieties, but maybe we can toss a nice picture up showing you a little bit more color for each one of these. But this one, I think out of all 3, is my favorite. Look at the color. This one is a new one for next year called Rise Up Amberness. And this is so pretty, kind of the deep apricot with the soft yellow on the outside. You can see what one of the blooms looks like after it's aged a little bit. And then the buds are a little bit more of that deeper apricot color. And the cool thing about these, so they call these a mini climber. They grow about 5 feet tall, so it's like a large shrub, which is how I'm gonna be growing them. But it is nice to have an option for something that you can grow on a smaller trellis. The type of climbing rose that doesn't get 8 to 10 feet tall, that would be a little bit hard to manage on some of the smaller trellises that are out there. So this one just has a very tidy and compact habit for a climber, but it stays more narrow, so 2 to 3 feet wide, and that's what kind of makes it nice. I think I can tuck it in really easily, even if I'm growing it as a shrub rose, and it's not going to take up an enormous amount of space. So this one is a repeat bloomer, just blooms throughout the summer, zone 4 through 9. I'm just really excited to see how this one does for us. The next one is Reminiscent Coral. I love how saturated the color is, but if you look to the interior, you can kind of see a little bit of a yellow glow. Do you guys see that? It's just such a pretty rose. Now this bloom right here is a little bit aged. Maybe we can toss a picture up showing how full these blooms look when they're a little bit fresher. This one stays quite a lot shorter, so 2 to 3.5 feet or so tall and 2 feet wide. So one that you can tuck in maybe a little bit closer to the front of a border. These also will bloom throughout the summer, and they're a zone 4 through 9, supposedly a super tough rose. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this one does as well. And then we've got 3 English roses. These are is it lichfield or lichfield angel? Anyway, the picture right here is going to be a better representation of what the blooms look like earlier, because all of these are really like aged blooms. They're not fresh, but you can see how beautiful they look even when they are aged. This one maybe has a tiny bit more of that cream color. Now you'll notice the shrubs themselves look a little bit stressed because they've been sitting in their containers all season long, through all the heat, through the wind, all of it. So they are going to be happy to be planted out. So this one will grow about 5 feet tall by 5 feet wide. So definitely the bigger of the 3 that we are planting today, but it also spans more zones. So this one's a zone 4 through 11. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility if you are in a more mild, warmer zone. And it blooms throughout the summer into the fall. Obviously, here we are in October and we've still got blooms on these things. You know, we've actually got quite a few blooms right now. This is the Ambridge Rose. Look at how gorgeous these are. Look at this color. Oh, I am so thrilled with this one right here. It's been just performing really, really well. It's super duper dusty at the moment because, you know, we still have the dust patch. They are working on it over there. If you can hear that beep sound, that's their leveler. They're making sure all the bricks are level. Anyway, all that dust blows over, covers everything. But oh, the flowers on this one. And really the size of the shrub, it stays more like this through the season. I don't know if it's because it's getting cooler out and it's just like trying to throw up some, I don't know, who knows, but who cares? I mean, they're full of buds and just beautiful color. And we are still planting, you guys. Our weather is just phenomenal. Let me show you the forecast. 63 out right now, high is 82. And the forecast for the next 10 days, it's in the low 80s, high 70s. And the low temperatures, the lowest is 42, but they all range like 44, 45, 46. Just amazing. So I'm doing as much planting as I can, getting things in the ground. Usually I think the rule of thumb is planting things about 6 weeks before a hard frost. Our average first frost date is October the 4th, and we are past that at this point. So we've been gifted a beautiful fall thus far. I'm just loving it. But we usually plant right up until we can't dig a hole anyway. I figure that, if you've got the plants or if you've got them on clearance or something like that, at the end of the season, they're better off being put in the ground, being insulated by so much more around their root ball rather than just a thin plastic nursery container. So I always feel like it's better to do it anyway. These are all going to be going out into the south garden because that's where we have the most sun right now. Until we get some more of these flower beds up here buttoned up, like around the Hartley and such, then we'll start planting a little bit more up there. But anyway, I just noticed Benjamin left me a little prize. And there's the rest of my family. Benjamin ran inside for a minute. Is she wearing goggles? Or sunglasses. Oh, those are sunglasses. Hi, baby. Hey. Are you wearing sunglasses? You wanted to go for a little ride?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you find a pair of Benjamin's sunglasses? Surprised you're keeping them on. Yeah. I like your shoes, baby girl. Those are so cute. Well, let's scope it out, baby girl. Where should we put all these roses? Somewhere out in here. Look at this. October. Almost the middle of October. And these plants, these annuals are still rocking. I've got a few roses planted out here in the south garden already that I want to show you too when we're done planting. There's some Italian ice, there's a State of Grace that looks so pretty, and then one called All Dressed Up. What's that? Are you excited? Yeah? I like how you stayed on theme with your rose print shirt. So cute. All right, guys, I got them all planted. I'm going to show them to you in reverse order because we ended up on the far side, and there are a few roses on this side in particular I want to show you anyway. So the last one we planted was the reminiscent coral, which went in right here on this corner where we haven't really done much. You know, there's a Scotch pine, there's a blueberry muffin viburnum, tiger eye sumac that's just starting to show some fall color, blonde ambition grass, which is gorgeous, white wands veronica that we transplanted from right by the vegetable garden, like in the summer in the heat, and it's doing great. This is a type of purple aster right here, and I thought the purple kind of blending in with that coral would be really pretty. So again, I did leave enough room kind of like with in front of the asters to do something shorter so that it will look kind of tucked back. So there are 3 roses right there. Let me show you these others. They are so pretty. In fact, this whole area looks so pretty. I'm just loving it so much. Look at that coral berry, dang, loaded. Okay, so this rose right here, this one's called State of Grace. It's got like distant drums vibes, has a kind of same coloring. The buds show kind of that pink on the outside. If you look on the inside, it's kind of that more creamy apricot color. Just an absolutely beautiful rose. Bunch of buddleia right behind it. But look at that from this angle. You can see a few more flowers there. Love, love this one. And then there's this one that I can't remember the name of. I only bought one. It looked super bad, you guys, this spring. In fact, all of the roses that I planted out here last year looked pretty bad. I had to cut them almost all the way down to the ground. Like I left little nubs for stems, and they've all grown back beautifully and they're providing color. I wish I could remember the name of this one. I did root around. Let me see if I can find a tag. I rooted around before and I didn't find one. I see the string the tag was attached to. Shoot. Either way, it's got huge, big, creamy apricot blooms. Multi-petal, look what they look like when they're all kind of budded up. Look at that right there. Oh my gosh. They're so pretty, and I can smell it from here. Then we've got 3 right in here, which same story. They all had to be cut back to the ground. I thought we were gonna lose them. And then the foliage, when it came back, it was looking pretty bad, like almost like it was diseased. Cut it back again, and now look at it. A little bit of rose tone, glossy green foliage. Uh-oh. Oh, darn. I wanted to show you this rose in particular, and it's falling apart. You can see it halfway though. The buds are more of a vibrant pink, and then it's a very full, lots of petals. bloom. There's this one here, but this doesn't really look like a lot of the other ones that come out on this plant. And then this one has buds. I'm just thankful that they're healthy looking and have wonderful looking foliage. Look at that. So pretty. And the last one is over here. This little area is shaping up really pretty too. Look at the Miss Ruby Buddleia. And that's a Firefly Sunshine Yarrow, Brandywine Viburnum, full of berries. And then right over here, in back of this beautiful hardy geranium, we've got the Oh So Easy Italian Ice. Nope, Senorita, right? Is this Senorita? Yeah, they're Senorita. I don't know why I keep calling these Italian Ice. They're similar. We have Italian Ice on the west side. Very similar coloring. But oh my goodness, they are looking so good. There are 6 of them in this area. It's so funny how differently they're growing. Like this one on the far end is much larger. In fact, all 3 of them on the back side are larger, and then the front 3 are a little bit shorter. And it's not for lack of sun. Maybe that one, you can see that one's kind of in the shade from the hibiscus, but it's not in the summertime because right now the sun is further down in the sky as we approach winter. But in the summer, it's pretty straight up and down, and these get full sun. But either way, the color is beautiful. I think they grow like 3 to 4 feet tall and wide is where they top out, zone 5 through 9. And they're just like this rainbow. I mean, the pink and the cream and the yellow and the orange and the apricot, just really, really gorgeous, especially when you pair them up with that blue color. I love that. Okay, those are the roses I wanted to show you out here. Let's head to the other corner of the south garden where I planted the other 2 varieties of roses today. All right, guys, standing at the entrance to the other side of the south garden, all of the amberness roses ended up down here. Lichfield Angels are on this side, and they're kind of tucked in because we've got a lot going on in the front here, but nothing super tall. The tallest thing in this space is the denim and lace Russian sage, and that is full size right now. So I tucked one of the roses back here so it can kind of fill in this gap. There is a little tiramisu sedum right here, which I'm hoping to maybe do a few more. But this is the area where our stone walkway is going to end up. You can see all of the stuff we have laying around here from our many projects going on, but the rock pathway, and I'll walk over there in a second, it's going to go around the Corinthian linden over here, and then back around the spruce, and then out right here. So I want to keep in mind that I'm going to have another edge right here, so I can't put super tall things in here because I'm going to want to graduate down to where that pathway is again. So the other 2 I popped right back here. There's one here and one right there, which in the end, so the pathway goes around the linden, comes back around this way, and goes like that. So this one will be a little bit closer to the pathway. That one will appear more bumped back. So from this side, you can see that rose there, and you can see that one right through there. And there's room for the birch to grow up and get bigger. These are Arctic yellow dogwoods, so those will get sizable. There's enough room though to put some other things in here, maybe some grasses or some other tall something. Delphiniums, one of my go-tos. I just love delphiniums. I wish they were in bloom all season long. Anyway, this stone pathway, which Erin and I will start in here again now that it's cooled off, but it's going to, go around like this, around that tree, and then back out that way, which is going to create some really wonderful flow for this space, and it will give this space kind of a reason, a little bit of a garden walk. I mean, otherwise it's just this huge big mass, and I don't want to fill it just 100% with plants, something that you can't walk through. I wanted to create a way to have like a meandering walk through the garden, and we'll probably do something really fun in this central area. The purple haze buddleias, by the way, are amazing. Do you remember when I planted this? This season, you guys. Just amazing. Okay, Rise Up Amberness is right here. We've got some purple illusion. I think that's what this one is. Veronica, back in black sedum, Arctic fire dogwoods. There's is it Procumbens blue spruce? I can't remember the exact name, but it's a ground cover blue spruce. So it won't get any taller than it is now, but it will kind of fill in this area and probably go between the roses. But I love the look of this yellow with the blue and the yellow with this dark sedum right there. So there's 3 of them in this space. Still planning on putting a nice good size evergreen, maybe of the new load that we have come in right in this space there. I'm just a little conflicted with this area just because I love to be able to look through and see the cut flower garden. And maybe in the end, I want it to be more of like a secret spot, something that you come upon instead of, being able to see it from all directions. I'm just not sure. And if we put deciduous trees only in this space, we can limb them up to where you can still see underneath them, and we can do some lower growing evergreens possibly. But I don't know, big evergreens that will create a block. I mean, they're gorgeous in the winter, they create that bone structure, but I'm wondering if in this area, if we should do that and block that view and make the cut flower garden more of its own secret space. I just don't know yet. That's just gonna have to evolve. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's video. Just wanted to get those 3 varieties of roses out. Super happy to have them in the landscape, and I'll be happy about it next year, especially just because right now they're not full of color. I'm not going to be able to enjoy them for a whole season, but next year when I see those start to break dormancy and we get to enjoy a lot of blooms off of them, that's going to be really fun. So today I did use the Biotone starter fertilizer, which that one is more specifically geared toward root development of your plant, which plants are still awake underneath the soil surface. Even though the tops die back, those roots, even though they're a lot slower, they're not like actively growing, there's still activity down there. So I always make sure to put some of that in, and then next spring when they start to wake up, I will follow up with some rose tone, and that's kind of typically what we do with all of our roses around here. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.